When I began as a researcher in computer networks, it was long before there was even an internet. I think if I go back to when I was a student and I was doing my doctoral dissertation and early research, you could see technically what the internet was going to become. You could understand that it was going to be global, that there would be hundreds of millions or billions of devices and people connected to the network. So from a technology standpoint, I think in the 80s and the 90s, many people understood technically what the internet would become and the many research challenges, but I don't think anybody really understood from a social point of view what the internet and the applications on the internet, like the web, social media, multimedia streaming, Zooming, would really become, how important that would become for society. In the future, if I look forward, I think we'll see continued innovation in wireless networking. So in the last 10 years, we saw a fusion, a joining between cellular telephony networks and what had been the traditional wired internet that we had in offices. And I think this notion of wireless communication and mobility will be very important. The Internet of Things, as more and more of our devices become sensors, personal body sensors, environmental sensors, cameras, other things become connected to the internet, our cars become connected to the internet. We'll see more and more of that. In sciences and engineering, sometimes we focus more on the technology and the science and maybe not quite enough on the people. And so I think going forward, the work with people will be incredibly important. So issues, for instance, like privacy will be very, very important. It's an area that the European Union, in my opinion, the EU leads the whole world really in thinking about some of the more human-centric parts of networking and computing. I have many friends who are at the university here, and I've been associated with IMDEA Networks for many, many years, since 2006. So, and I visited here many times and given talks here and met with PhD students. And so it's just a wonderful honor, for a university that I know well. When I was very, very young and I was thinking about jobs, I had a chance to, when I was a graduate student, to teach. And found out that working with students and both teaching students in classes and advising students in their PhD degrees is something that I knew that I would very much love doing. And so I think really the most wonderful thing about being a professor is just the ability to work with students, to advise PhD students, to have students in your courses. It's a wonderful career, and really, I think all of us who are in academia in universities are very thankful to be able to have that privilege to be teachers.